Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's Madison Square Garden wedding has everyone talking, and now the reactions are pouring in. From NFL legends to Hollywood stars, some of the biggest names are weighing in. Keep watching to see which reactions stole the spotlight and why they're making almost as many headlines as the wedding itself. So here's how it actually went down. On the night of the wedding, Madison Square Garden's jumbotrons lit up in pink with the message "Just and Tay married," and that was the signal everyone outside had been waiting for. Rain started pouring right as the news release went out confirming it. Swift and Kelce were married. Inside, the guest list read like a greatest hits reel of American celebrity. Stars were spotted arriving Friday, including Ethan Hawke, Gwen Stefani, Benson Boone, Jason Sudeikis, Jimmy Fallon, Jennifer Lopez, Ed Sheeran, Abby Wambach, Cooper Kupp, Roger Goodell, Joe Buck, and Jenny Han. As the night wound down, guests started leaving in a steady stream of blacked-out SUVs. Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper were photographed being driven away early Saturday. Same with Selena Gomez. Chris Rock was caught on camera reacting from inside a vehicle as he left. Hugh Grant and his wife, Anna Elizabeth Eberstein, were seen walking out together. And earlier in the night, Steven Spielberg and Jessica Alba made their own exits, along with NFL figures like Tom Brady and Chiefs head coach Andy Reid. Now here's where it gets interesting, because not every reaction to this wedding came from someone smiling on their way out of MSG. The same night the couple got married, the White House Instagram account jumped into the conversation. Staffers posted a parody of the Garden's own billboard, swapping out "Just and T married" for the message "Trump is your president," paired with the phrase "It's happened." It followed a post from the night before, where the White House shared a collage mimicking Swift's own Eras Tour poster, captioned "America's Eras Tour," with Trump's image placed dead center among photos like Iwo Jima and the Miracle on Ice. Reaction to that was instant and loud. One person online called it flat-out pathetic, while someone else said Trump was the most pathetic, weak, embarrassing human over the timing of it. Others pointed out the obvious irony that a man who once said he hated Taylor Swift was now borrowing her tour branding to make a political point on her wedding night. So that's the split screen we're working with. On one side, a couple getting married surrounded by some of the biggest names in music, film, and sports. On the other, a president who couldn't resist making the night about himself. And in between those two extremes, you've got everyone else. Teammates, friends, exes, fans, comedians, musicians, all weighing in on what's being called the wedding of the year. That's what we're breaking down. Let's start where this story actually started, inside the Kansas City Chiefs locker room, because that's where Kelce's people have been reacting to this relationship since day one. When the engagement first dropped back in August, the response from Kelce's own podcast co-host, his brother Jason, set the tone. In a promotional clip ahead of that week's episode of New Heights, Jason Kelce told viewers there was one gigantic piece of news that just hit the waves, adding that since Travis wasn't there to address it himself, the show felt necessary as a team to send Travis and Taylor a giant congratulations for being engaged. That reaction mattered because Jason wasn't just a bystander. By wedding day, he'd be standing next to his brother as best man. Patrick Mahomes was next. The Chiefs quarterback reposted the couple's engagement announcement to his own Instagram story, simply adding 3 heart emojis. His wife, Brittany Mahomes, went further, writing that two of the most genuine people had met and fallen in love, adding she was just so happy for these two. The Mahomes family has been around this relationship since close to the beginning, regularly photographed with Swift and Kelce at games, so their reaction carried a different weight than a typical celebrity congratulations post. Other Chiefs players jumped in too. Defensive end Mike Dana called the engagement an incredible turn of events during a preseason press conference, saying finding that kind of love is a blessing. Even the league office got involved. The official NFL account was among the first to respond, posting a simple "Congratulations to Travis and Taylor" on X, and the New Heights podcast account itself leaned into the moment, posting a how it started versus how it's going comparison that traced the relationship back to its earliest, more awkward days. Speaking of those early days, Kelce has been open for years about how the whole thing kicked off. He admitted on a 2023 episode of New Heights that he'd tried to meet Swift after one of her Eras Tour shows in Kansas City, saying he was a little butthurt. He didn't get to hand her a friendship bracelet he'd made with his number on it. Swift later told Time she thought the public call-out was metal as hell. By wedding weekend, the football world showed up in force, not just online, but in person. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel and his wife were spotted heading to the venue, caught on camera leaving their hotel Friday evening. ESPN's Joe Buck attended with his wife, Michelle Beisner-Buck. Andy Reid made the trip too, departing the venue after the celebration wrapped. And Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion and someone who's crossed paths with Kelce on plenty of AFC battlefields, was among those seen leaving in an SUV before midnight. Then there's the Mets. In a moment that went semi-viral for how random it was, the New York Mets recreated the couple's engagement announcement photos using their own mascots, Mr. and Mrs. Met. The caption read that Mrs. Met was always the mascot's love story, adding congratulations to our other favorite sports couple. What all of this tells you is that the football world didn't treat this wedding as an outside-the-league event. Kelce is one of their own, a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and his teammates, his coach, his brother, and his league all showed up, some literally, some just with a heart emoji, to mark the occasion. If the NFL treated this as a family affair, Hollywood and the music industry treated it as the social event of the year, and the reactions came in 2 waves: who showed up and who didn't. Let's start with who did. Reports in the lead-up to the big day named a long list of confirmed attendees. According to outlets tracking the guest list, Zoe Kravitz, Ed Sheeran, the Haim sisters, Suki Waterhouse, Gigi Hadid, and Selena Gomez had all received invitations well before the ceremony. Of those, Gigi Hadid and Selena Gomez were reported as the only 2 women confirmed to be part of Swift's actual bridal party. Though, as it turned out, neither Swift nor Kelce ended up with a traditional wedding party at all. That's because the roles usually filled by a maid of honor and best man went to family instead. Swift's brother Austin served as her man of honor, while Kelce's brother Jason, the same one who delivered that podcast congratulations months earlier, stood up as best man. And officiating the whole thing was Adam Sandler, a longtime friend of the couple who'd previously gushed about their relationship on New Heights, telling Kelce back in 2024 that his own Swift-loving family reacted to the relationship with pure excitement the moment it started. The night itself pulled in names far outside music and football. Model Karlie Kloss and her husband, Joshua Kushner, were spotted heading to the wedding, notable given past reporting about tension between Kloss and Swift, with NBC News noting that whatever beef existed appeared to be water under the bridge by wedding night. Director Steven Spielberg made an appearance and was among those photographed leaving before midnight, alongside actress Jessica Alba and her partner Danny Ramirez, football legend Michael Strahan, and Swift's longtime songwriting collaborator Max Martin. Musically, the night reportedly featured performances that read like a festival lineup. Reports ahead of the wedding named Stevie Nicks and Tim McGraw as set to perform, and other accounts pointed to Paul McCartney taking the stage as well, putting 3 generations of music royalty in the same room as the bride and groom. Not everyone made the cut, though, and that's its own story. Page 6 reported that Swift's former close friend, model Karlie Kloss's old rift aside, it was actually Blake Lively who was widely reported as not expected to attend, a notable absence given the pair's years-long public friendship. Miles Teller and his wife, Keeley Sperry, also reportedly didn't receive invitations, following what outlets described as a falling out with Swift. Even friends who did show up gave slightly puzzled reactions when asked about it beforehand. Queer Eye star Antoni Porowski, appearing on Watch What Happens Live, was asked directly whether he was attending and responded with mock surprise, asking they're getting married? Before adding he should probably send flowers or a congratulations. Host Andy Cohen wasn't buying the dodge, telling him that not answering the question basically confirmed he was going. Beyond the RSVP drama, fans and public figures flooded in with their reactions the moment Just and Team Married hit the jumbotrons. One person online called the Billboard announcement itself impressive, writing that it was actually kind of fire though. Another fan admitted the news moved them, writing simply that they were crying, saying they were so excited for them. A third summed up the scale of the whole thing, calling it a moment where one of the biggest celebrity love stories just entered a new chapter. Even people outside the entertainment bubble weighed in. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay shared a photo with Kelce from the sidelines of a Chiefs game, and lifestyle figure Martha Stewart posted an old clip of herself sipping champagne, writing that it was time to call in the ultimate wedding planner. It's a good snapshot of just how far this reaction spread. From tight ends and quarterbacks to celebrity chefs and lifestyle gurus, everyone had something to say. While the celebrities were inside dealing with security and NDAs, a different kind of reaction was unfolding on the sidewalks outside Madison Square Garden. And it might be the most human part of this entire story. Fans didn't just watch this wedding online, they traveled for it. One woman, Amanda Powell, flew 1,000 miles from Little Rock, Arkansas, for one reason alone: to be near the wedding. She told reporters she and 2 friends came just to celebrate Taylor's wedding and congratulate her on her big day. Another fan, Lindsay Perrin, drove all the way from Indiana just to stand outside in the heat. She joked that the scorching temperatures felt fitting, pointing to one of Swift's own lyrics about keeping things 100, and noting it was literally 100 degrees out that day, joking that Swift was even working with Mother Nature. Kristen Donahue, who stopped by the area on her lunch break with a coworker, put the whole spectacle into context, calling the couple the King and Queen of America, a line that captures just how much this wedding was being treated less like a private ceremony and more like a national event. And it wasn't just fans reacting emotionally to the news, it was the city itself. New York's Empire State Building got in on the celebration, lighting up blue that night in a nod to the old wedding rhyme about something blue. The building's own social media account posted video of the lights with the caption, "Her something blue," accompanied by a blue heart emoji, turning one of the most recognizable skylines in the world into part of the celebration. Not every fan reaction was pure celebration, though. Some people online questioned whether Taylor had actually booked Madison Square Garden for a wedding, or whether the whole thing was just an elaborate fan project. That kind of disbelief tracked with weeks of speculation leading up to the big day, when tabloids chased false leads about the wedding happening at Swift's Rhode Island estate, instead of in New York. There was also a strand of criticism mixed in with the celebration. Political commentator and streamer Hassan Piker took aim at the spectacle of it all, calling the wedding insane and describing it as a dramatic misuse of public resources. That comment stood out because it wasn't coming from a political opponent of Swift's. It was coming from someone on the same side of the aisle politically, just pushing back on the scale and security operation the wedding required in the middle of Manhattan. Meanwhile, back to the White House posts, because those didn't just generate reactions from ordinary fans, they generated pushback, specifically about the optics of a sitting president targeting a wedding night. One person online pointed out the strange contradiction directly, asking why Trump was suddenly copying Swift's Eras tour branding if he'd previously claimed to hate her. Someone else summed up the entire relationship dynamic in a single phrase, describing Swift as basically living in Trump's head rent-free, a phrase that echoed across multiple outlets covering the story that same night. So by the time the sun came up Saturday morning, the reactions to this wedding had split into distinct lanes. Fans who traveled across the country just to stand outside, a city that lit up its own skyline in tribute. Commentators questioning the scale of it, and a president who couldn't resist making it about himself. All of it happening around one couple who by most accounts just wanted to get married. So, pulling all of this together, what do you actually make of a reaction this big, spread across so many different corners of public life? Start with the timeline itself, because it explains why the reactions escalated the way they did. The couple started dating in the summer of 2023. Following her Eras tour stop near the Chiefs' home stadium, they went public gradually over the next 2 years, with Swift eventually attending Kelce's games, including the Super Bowl his team went on to win. Kelce proposed in August 2025, and the couple didn't wait long to plan the wedding. Reports quickly zeroed in on Independence Day weekend as the likely date, which lines up with something Kelce had actually said on his own podcast months before the engagement even happened, when he mentioned during a discussion about fall weddings that all the weddings he'd been to had happened in summer. That timeline matters because it explains the scale of reaction. This wasn't a surprise elopement. It was a 2-year public courtship that fans, media, and eventually politicians had been tracking in real time, which means by the time the actual wedding happened, there was already a built-in audience primed to react to every detail. The venue, the guest list, the dress, all of it. And the details themselves kept the reactions coming well after the ceremony ended. Swift's representative confirmed that the couple's wedding looks were created by Christian Dior Haute Couture, designed by Jonathan Anderson, creative director of Dior's women's, men's, and haute couture collections, in close collaboration with the bride and groom, with the statement noting it marked the designer's first couture wedding dress for a world-renowned celebrity. Their shoes were custom Christian Louboutin, and Swift wore Cartier jewelry for the ceremony. Every one of those details became its own mini news cycle, generating fresh rounds of commentary from fashion accounts, fans, and entertainment reporters picking apart the choices. There's also a quieter thread running through all of this that got far less attention than the celebrity sightings, the charitable side of the event. In the run-up to the wedding, Swift and Kelce donated $26 million combined to more than 20 charity organizations across the country, including food banks, an animal cruelty prevention group, educational programs, and children's hospitals. That detail didn't generate the same viral energy as the Trump posts or the guest list drama, but it's part of the full picture of how this event rippled outward. As for the political noise, it's worth putting Trump's involvement in its proper context because this wasn't the first time these two had clashed. Their history stretches back years through a 2024 deepfake incident where Trump falsely suggested Swift had endorsed him, which she publicly denied, prompting his infamous declaration that he hated her. So when the White House account went after the wedding directly, it wasn't a random jab, it was the latest chapter in a running feud that had already spanned a presidential election cycle. What made this instance different is that, for once, Trump's own reported approach toward Swift was notably more restrained than his usual style of attacking celebrities, with reporting suggesting his team may have been wary of alienating voters in swing states, where her popularity runs deep. But here's the thing that actually stands out. When you step back from all the noise, none of it stopped the wedding, and none of it seemed to touch the couple at the center of it. Reports from that night described Swift and her guests simply continuing the celebration uninterrupted, while the political posts circulated separately online. The wedding carried on with Stevie Nicks reportedly performing, with 1,000 guests inside MSG, and with a couple who, according to those close to them, had been planning this exact kind of unconventional, star-packed, security-heavy celebration for months. So when you add up the NFL teammates who showed up in person, the Hollywood stars who filled the guest list, the fans who flew across the country to stand outside a curtained-off arena, the skyline that lit up in tribute, and even a president who couldn't resist a parody post on the biggest night of someone else's life, you get a full and accurate picture of just how far this reaction actually spread. Celebrities did react, fans did react, even the White House reacted. And through all of it, the couple at the center did the one thing weddings are actually supposed to do. They got married, and then they partied until the rain came down outside Madison Square